Welcome to the Tangled Stitch tutorial channel, and today I'm going to be showing you the central double decrease stitch, or commonly known as the CDD. The central double decrease stitch is something that you would normally find in patterns using raglan sleeves, a v-neck sweater, or more commonly in lace patterns. I'm going to show you two variations of the stitch. The first method of the stitch would create a ridged pattern of decreases, more pronounced. So this is something that you'd see in the raglan sweater or the v-neck sweater. And my preferred way for a lace stitch is that the stitch actually lay a little flatter. So all along here, you can see that I've done central double decreases, but the stitch looks much flatter. There's no pronounced ridge in the middle of this pattern. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a little sample here that I've been knitting on a swatch. So I'm going to go in just a couple of stitches before I do the decrease. So the first method I'm going to show you is if you were to Google the stitch, the CDD, this is probably the method that would come up for you. So the first thing that you do using your right hand needle, you reach into the left, the first two stitches on the left hand needle, put your stitch inside, lift them off as if to knit to the right hand needle, and then you're going to go ahead and knit that third stitch as usual. Take the two past stitches, lift them over the one that you knit, and then now you have one stitch. So you've condensed 3 stitches into 1 stitch, central double decrease, 2 stitches decreased. Let's show you that one more time. Take your right hand needle, insert it into the first 2 stitches as if to knit, slide them off, knit the third stitch as usual, take those 2 stitches and pass them over the stitch that you just knit. So that is the one version of it. Now I'm going to show you my preferred method. This is a flatter, neater version of the CDD, and this is what I like to use in a lace stitch. So it starts off exactly the same. You take the right hand needles, insert them into the first 2 stitches of the left hand needle, lift those off. Now here's where the change happens. You take your left needle, insert it into the top of those 2 stitches purlwise, and take the right tip of the needle and insert it into the back of that stitch that's on your first stitch on your left hand needle. So now you actually have, from this angle, you have 3 stitches that you can see across the needle. Wrap the yarn around as if to knit, and knit all 3 stitches together. And then you can see that the orientation of the stitch, now that first stitch actually lies on top, neater and flatter. I'm going to show you this one more time. Right hand needle goes into the first 2 stitches as if to knit. Take them off the needle. Left hand needle goes into the top of those. Right hand needle into the back of the first stitch. You have 3 stitches on your needle. Wrap around as if to knit, and pull the stitch off. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and knit a couple of rows, and then we're going to come back and look at the stitches. Okay, so I've knit a few rows above my decreases, and I just wanted to come back and have a closer look. These are the first 2 stitches that I decreased using the original method, and you can see that the stitch legs are more raised and pronounced. And then over here, I have used the method where the stitch lies flatter. You can barely see them because it has exact same orientation as all the stitches below and above it. So there you have it, 2 methods depending on how you want your item to look, whether you want a pronounced ridge or if you want a flatter lying stitch, but you have 2 different ways to accomplish the same end product. And it's always nice to have some extra tools in our knitting bag that we can make these determinations to give ourselves a little more confidence when we're knitting patterns. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. If you have some comments, love to hear them in the area below this video. And take care and happy knitting.